Before we get started, if you want to grow your own celery, fall is a great time to do it. But if you've never tried or you've tried and failed, I've got a free celery guide that walks you through how to grow it successfully. But for fresh celery in your Thanksgiving dressing and in your winter soups, you need to start soon. I'll tell you more about why that matters later in this episode, but if you want to go ahead and grab a free celery guide now, the link is in the show notes. It's just past the 4th of July. The garden has been going hard since spring, and you might be battling the heat and the bugs and disease, and you may just be tired. So I get it if a fall garden is the last thing on your mind right now, but I also have to give you props for pressing play on this episode because that means that it's still in your mind. And I want you to stay with me for a few minutes because I want to let you in on something. There is a quieter, sweeter season coming. Pulling fresh broccoli and crisp lettuce out of the garden when most everyone else has simply moved on. And that little bit of effort that it takes is so worth it. And here's my goal today. I want you to sit back, to listen, and just dream. Maybe you're in the garden right now, sweat pouring, wondering how much more you have left in you this year. I get that feeling, which is why today I am not handing you a big list of work. We're not doing any heavy-duty planning or planting right now. This is just a few small decisions you can make in the next week or so that will set the whole thing up. The planning and the planting come later, and today we just start dreaming. So welcome to the Beginner's Garden podcast. If you are new here, my name is Jill and I live in Arkansas Zone 8A. I have been gardening since 2013 and I grow a lot in my fall garden. It's one of the reasons why I'm able to grow mostly year round. Part of that is because I am in Arkansas, but still we get pretty cold in the winter. But fall is a big reason for my ability to grow as long as I do. But I didn't start out that way. I started with a summer garden like most people do, but I've learned what a value it is. And I want to encourage you to dream that way too. But I also want you to consider what we're going to be talking about today in light of your own climate and your own life. Your climate is going to be a little bit different from mine, perhaps, and your life may be as well. Take a look at, in particular, what your life is going to be looking like in August. For example, if you are a school teacher, you may need to take the bare bones of what we're talking about today and just choose a few specific crops you want to focus on. You may not want to go all out like some people do. So just consider what your life is going to look like in August, in September, even October as we talk today. So today I'm going to talk to you about 3 simple things that you can decide to do now, plus a few bigger picture items that I want you to put on your radar. The first thing is decide what you want to grow this fall. If you're new, fall is when you want to plant more cool season crops, kind of like what you may have done in the spring, or maybe you started too late and you weren't able to get those crops in the spring. Fall is a great time for those. I'm talking about brassicas like broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. Fall is also the perfect time to hone in on leafy greens and salads. You've got some root crops like your carrots and your beets, and even some longer season crops like celery that we talked about before. Now look at these cool season crops and then pick out a small handful of what you actually will eat. And when I say crops that you actually eat, I want you to think about what does your body really crave, or what kind of cooking do you like to do when the weather starts turning cool? You might be thinking about things like soups. And if that's the case, then you might want to include carrots or celery or even broccoli. I love a good broccoli and cheese soup in the fall. Think about the things that you might want to eat going into the fall and the things that your body's craving. I find personally that it's amazing how my body craves different things in different seasons. Like right now, I have a refrigerator full of cabbage that I harvested for the spring that we weren't able to eat all completely. And I'm like, my body's not craving cabbage right now, but it will be in the fall. So that's definitely one I want to plan for the fall. So just think forward, think fall thoughts right now, especially if you're in your garden right now and you're sweating and you're cursing summer. like a lot of us do at this time of year. Number two, as you're thinking about those crops that you want to grow, you need to decide how you're going to grow each one. And what I mean by that is decide whether you're going to directly seed those crops as seeds in your garden or whether you are going to transplant them. That is the single biggest decision that you'll need to make before you start any kind of fall gardening right now. Some crops are going to go straight in the bed by direct seeding. These are going to be root crops like your carrots and like your beets. Also, many greens can be direct seeded. Lettuce is kind of an exception. Lettuce can be direct seeded, but if you try to direct seed it earlier in the fall, a lot of times the soil temperature is too hot, especially where I'm at, for them to germinate very well. So I do lettuce transplants the first round, but then once the weather starts cooling off, especially at night, the soil temperature starts coming down, you can direct seed lettuce real easily. But brassica greens like arugula, they can be direct seeded anytime. But other crops do better as transplants, like your brassicas, your broccoli, your cauliflower, your cabbage, celery. Those crops are going to need to be transplanted. And here's the thing you need to know about transplants in a fall garden. Obviously, transplants need lead time. They need to be started earlier. And so if you want to get them in the ground in August, which is when most of us are getting our transplants in the garden, give or take, depending on where you're located, most people, August is a pretty safe bet, at least some part of that range. Unless you're much warmer than me, then you might need to wait until September. But if you're planning on planting some of these transplants in August, then those seeds will have needed to be started around now or the next couple of weeks in July. And here's the thing. You may not be able to depend on getting transplants from your local garden center depending on where you're located. We know that garden centers stock heavily for the spring, but in my experience, this supply thins out quite a bit for the fall, and what they carry does vary by store. My point is this: don't assume that you can buy all of your fall transplants locally like you would be able to assume for the spring. Here's my recommendation. Call your local nursery and ask them what they will have and when. That tells you what you need to possibly start yourself from seed soon, or what you need to give up on for this fall, because if you don't want to do indoor seed starting, at least you'll know. For example, celery. If your nursery can't offer you transplants, then you definitely are going to have to start those seeds indoors. But if you don't want to start seeds indoors, then that may be a crop you need to cull from your list. I hope that you don't do that. I hope you choose to grow celery, but that's the reality. A lot of nurseries may not have that. A lot of them, in my experience, will have your basic broccoli, cabbage, any kind of kale, things like that they'll have. But if you're new and you don't know what your nursery typically stocks, I definitely recommend calling them and asking them first. If you're like me though, and you don't want to buy transplants, you want to start those seeds indoors, July is the time to do it. Broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, celery. These seeds need to be started usually early to mid-July, depending on where you're located. Again, if you're further south than I am, a little bit later will be fine because they're going in a little bit later. But in order for them to be transplant ready by August, the seeds need to be started indoors in July. For me, the seeds that I start indoors in July are broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, my first round of lettuce, and celery. And honestly, that's a pretty short list. I'm not going to be growing a lot of any of these crops going into fall. Well, lettuce is an exception, but I will succession plant lettuce. So I really don't need that many transplants already at once. So even just one grow light is enough for that. It's not like you're doing a huge round of your spring crops. So it's a little bit more manageable for the fall. Now I mentioned celery. Celery does grow a bit differently and it needs a little bit of care. As in, the seed does take a little bit longer to germinate. It takes a little bit longer. And so we definitely need to get those started indoors now. And if you want to learn how to do that and try to get at least a few celery heads for your soups and for your Thanksgiving dressing, I highly recommend downloading that celery guide I mentioned at the top of this episode. And this will walk you through exactly how to grow celery, starting it from seed and then growing it through the fall. And the link to grab that guide for free is in the show notes. Now let's look forward to your garden space. It's one thing to choose what you want to grow. It's another thing to know where you're going to plant it. especially if you're planting a lot of these crops in August. And I keep saying August because I think, especially as beginning gardeners, sometimes we just don't turn our mind to think about fall until the temperatures start coming down. And a lot of times, if you don't even think about the fall garden, it's too late by that point if you wait until the temperatures come down. I've done a lot of custom fall garden plans for people all around the country in different climates. And while there is some variance about when to plant, most people fall into the planting time of August, either early to mid to late. And so what this tells you is most likely your average first frost date is not in August. So you probably will still have some summer crops that are in your garden. So what you'll need to do is start looking now at what is growing in your garden space and think about what space might free up in August. For example, maybe you're growing potatoes and you're expecting to harvest your potatoes in July. Like I'm starting to harvest mine early July. You may be a little bit later than me, but that's a great opportunity if you know your potatoes are coming out in July to plan for some of your fall crops to go in after that. Or if you've got cucumbers that are just, they're wearing out in that particular space and you figure, I don't think they're going to last another month, then you can look at that space and earmark that for fall crops. So that's what you want to look at. Start looking at your garden right now, not as it is at the moment, but what's it going to look like in another month or 6 weeks or so. Another thing that I've started to do personally, this is just something this week. I lost my squashes and my zucchinis to squash vine borer as I do every year. And I was trying to figure out where am I going to plant another planting? Because in my experience in Arkansas, again, this is very climate dependent. So you need to definitely adjust this and observe based on your climate. But in my climate, if I plant squash and zucchini seeds again in the later part of July or early part of August, then that skips the squash vine borer entirely and I'm able to get another harvest. But in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, where am I going to plant these successions? Because I definitely still have time for that. And there was one area where I actually harvested garlic and I planted some sunflowers and I thought, that would be a good area. But then I thought, no, that's a pretty large area. That's probably going to be a better use of my space to put fall crops in, because I think it's kind of like a 2x7 area, which would be able to give me, several broccoli or cabbage plants if I choose to plant it there. But there's another bed where I have like 3 square feet and I'm like, okay, that would actually be a really good space for another round of squash and zucchini because it's a smaller space, but still have enough room for those. All that to say, I'm looking ahead now because there are crops that I can still plant for summer, like bush beans and cucumbers, and we talked about all of that in a previous episode, so definitely go back and listen to that if you haven't yet. But now that I'm looking at summer successions, I also am counting in my mind, okay, if I do bush beans, that's going to take at least 2 months. And if I do this now, like from July 7th, which is today when this episode airs, that's going to take me to September 7th. That might be a little bit hard because I really need to get my fall crops in August. So I definitely am trying to be more strategic about where I'm planting these summer successions now, because I want to make sure I have enough room in my garden for what I want to plant for the fall. So just think through those things. As you're walking your garden, no major decisions have to be made, but I just want to get your mind moving on, okay, where could I possibly plant some of these fall crops in my garden? Another thing to think through is if you've been growing a spring and summer garden, those crops have been taking up a lot of nutrients from your soil. And so make sure that you have some compost to top off whatever beds you have before you plant your fall crops. Those fall crops are going to need extra nutrition. And especially if you're growing a heavy feeder like broccoli or cabbage or cauliflower, they're going to need some more nutrition than what that tired soil is going to give them. Topping off with compost, just an inch or two, goes a really long way. I would do that for anything that I'm planting in the fall. But also, I may even add some nitrogen for those brassicas, those heavy feeding crops, because they will need a little bit more nitrogen. So I may actually add that. I probably am not going to do that for a lot of the crops, but for the heavy feeders, I definitely will. But regardless, making sure you have some compost to top off your beds and to add that nutrition, it does go a long way. Another thing is you're going to be planting potentially young transplants in the hottest stretch of the year if you're planting in August, and even direct seeding carrots. Those early seeded carrots could use a little bit of shade. So whether it's young transplants or just freshly sprouted seedlings, having some shade if August is really hot for you. I know some of you guys don't get super hot at all in the summer, and this is the time that those of us in the South are really jealous of you, but obviously take this if it applies to you. I would recommend getting some shade cloth now, in that way that they're ready for when you start planting out your transplants. It's not going to be needed for a long time. Usually I'll have shade cloth on my fall crops for a couple of weeks, but it's enough to get them going and established before I take the shade cloth off. The days start getting shorter, so they need more sun, and it helps them to transition a lot better. Okay, so you have to admit, that wasn't a lot. That was just some priming of your mind to think about what's possible in the fall. And I want to let you know what's coming up to be able to help you do this even better. So maybe you're thinking about, you do want a fall garden, but you feel like you need more help, or you know you have a busy fall or a busy summer and you're like, hey, could someone just do this for me? Well, if that's you, I'm opening up my custom fall garden plans on Tuesday. This is something I did last year. It's a plan where I make it by hand just for your space. We meet on Zoom one-on-one. I get an idea what your space is, what your goals are, and then I build you a garden plan where you know when to plant, where to plant it, and I do this all custom to your space. But because I build each one myself, I can only take a limited number of spots to be able to plan. And last year, those spots sold out in just 2 days. So if a done for you plan is exactly what you need, watch for that email. It's coming out on July 14th, a week from today, and we'll have those spots open until they're gone. But if you want a fall garden, but you want to do it yourself and you have a little bit of extra room and you're wanting to learn how to do it, but you do need a little extra help, I am hosting a live fall garden workshop on July 28th. Now, in this workshop, it's going to be a full walkthrough on how to plan and grow your fall garden. I'm going to teach you how to calculate planting dates. We're going to talk about soil building, succession planting, some of your fall crops. We're going to talk about all of that and teach you how to plan your own fall garden. We'll talk about overwintering. We'll talk about what things you need to do as far as covers, whether that's an insect netting or a shade cloth early or a floating row cover later. It's going to walk you through all of that. That's coming on July 28th. So you have a couple options here. One, I do it all for you. And then two, I teach you how to do it for yourself. Either way, you have a couple of those coming up, and make sure and have your email ready and you'll get all the details for that. But if you do one thing this week and you have any idea that you might want to grow celery, I recommend that you grab that free celery guide. Fall celery is one of those crops that once you get it going, you'll be so glad you grew it. To me, there's something about walking out in my garden on Thanksgiving morning and harvesting that celery and putting in that dressing. I know that part of that is because I'm in Arkansas and I can do that. So you may have to harvest it a little sooner, but there's just something special about that. It's just so much better than what you can get in the grocery store. But even if you don't plan on growing celery, download it anyway, because when you do that, you'll also get access to all of our other crop growing guides. And we've got several growing guides that are for your fall crops. They include broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, lettuce, and carrots. You can have guides to help you grow all of that. And the link to grab all of that is in the show notes. So I don't want to leave you without resources to help you to grow a fall garden, because you will not regret it. But we just passed the 4th of July. Summer is not over yet. And so now I want you to go enjoy what's left of summer, plan for fall, but enjoy your summer, because fall will be here before you know it. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so glad you're here. I hope this was helpful. Go download the guides, and I will chat with you next week.